6,000 watts of power. You're listening to KLOK, San Jose, San Francisco, and Oakland. The most powerful Desi radio station in America. A Universal Media Access-owned radio station.
It's the TechAM Powerdrive with Kurt Steele, Bruce Mercanti, and Swami Varadhan.
TechAM Powerdrive turbocharging your mornings with technotainment. You can dial in at 408-912-5565. We've been just wrapping up a conversation about the book, The Innovators. And we've got an innovator on the line, Manu Das, president and founder of Soffront Software, and he's responsible for the worldwide executive activities of the company, including sales, marketing, and R&D. Manu started Soffront in 1992 in a spare bedroom to pioneer customer relationship management software many years before its time. Manu, welcome to the call.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Well, Manu, I have to start off with this conversation. Bruce and I were at Dreamforce up there in San Francisco, covering the trade show, looking at that ecosystem around CRM. But we all know the facts, and the facts are that Benioff brought that to market about 1999, and then SAP followed suit with SAP CRM 2006, I believe it was the year when they released 5.0. And here we're talking to the true founder of CRM. In fact, CRM Magazine has featured you in their Who's Who in CRM article in May 2004. So, Manu, you've been doing this, and your software has been available for over 20 years. Tell us how you brought CRM. I don't think anybody talked about CRM before 1992, so could we say you're the father of CRM, Manu?
Well, I mean, I don't know there is a CRM has a father or a mother, but...
Well, there was somebody that brought it to market, and I'm looking through the history books, and I don't see anything pre-1992. TechAM Powerdrive is ready to crown that award on you right now, that you were a pioneer. I think that's what it says in your bio, a pioneer of CRM, because it wasn't until 1999 that Salesforce came along, and then everybody talked about CRM, and that's why SAP scampered into the game, Oracle scampered into the game. But Manu, you had this vision before anybody, and I guess you started the company with around $6,000. How'd you do it, Manu?
Well, I mean, it goes back 22 years, but I was working for a company. They had a need to have a client management, or they had operations all over the world, so they wanted us to build something. And my team used Lotus Notes. Well, that time it was Lotus Notes to build a system. So after that, it was not for commercial use. So after that, I was looking for one, if there is one in the marketplace that takes care of customers and their complaints and their feedback and all that. So I didn't find one. I didn't find one in the marketplace. So I thought, perhaps I should quit the job and start one. So that's what I did, but I didn't have any money. So I thought, okay, that's all right, because I could start on my own and write the code, and which I did for like 14-hour days for a few months. So that's when I started the company. Well, the company was not started until 94, but even though I was trying to sell from 1992, it was a proprietary until 94 when I actually incorporated in California, but before that it was a proprietary. So that's how it all started, and I only had $6,000. So I thought, okay, I'll start with $6,000. If I lose it all, I can just go back and find a job. So I can always find a job anytime. That's how I started.
Now, looking at the timeline, 1992, was this a client app? In terms of, did you build it in Power Builder? How did you roll this out? How did you roll this out?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because Well, there was, that I was attending. Well, I was thinking how to write it because before that I was actually not a C++ programmer. Well, mostly I was a Lisp programmer and with Lisp and because I was in artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so, right.
So I was thinking, geez, what platform to use to write one? And I was at a Borland, not conference, it was like a Bay Area Borland meeting with a bunch of other programmers, and they were giving away a free, if you win, if you put your business card and if you win, you get a free OWL, O-W-L, that's what Borland was saying. I think it was basically a library to build C++ applications.
There you go.
In the Windows, API wrapped around with C++. Borland was selling that time. So surprisingly, I was sitting in the audience. I was thinking, oh gosh, I got to win this one. I never win anything. I'm sure I'm going to win this one. Sure enough, I won that one.
Oh, awesome. Talk about timing. That's phenomenal. I mean, you're pre-Java. I mean, Java was in 1995, so that must have been a hitting the lottery for you to really start this company and get it on a very, very stable platform at the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that, as I said, that was like better than winning a lottery. I mean, I was so thrilled. I said, wow, I'm destined to write this application in OWL, and I'm destined to do this. That's the way I felt, and I was so thrilled. It's more than winning $20,000. It was only $499, I think they were selling for. But it didn't matter to me to $499 or $4,099. I was thrilled.
Now, Bruce, talk about an iconic individual here. This is a guy who's been doing CRM, Bruce, for 20 years. And you have got to have gone through a tremendous amount of changes in your technology when it comes to customer relationship management, because I look back at 1992, and I was thinking when I was reading your bio, Java came in 1995, with utility computing back in 92 possibly was prominent, but cloud was not even talked about. And so you've seen all the evolution of the development of technology, and I'm sure, looking at your website, you've kept up with all of those transitions and stayed in business and been very profitable and successful for 20 years. How have you done that, Manu? That is amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, talk about technology change. You probably know very well that in 1992, you had Windows 3.0, right?
Yeah, I remember that operating system.
And believe it or not, Microsoft Access was not available that time either.
Absolutely. It came out after that. So what database were you running on?
So, so I used Windows 3.0 and used DBase 4 from Borland. DBase 4 with using their OWL library and Windows 3.0 operating system. That was the first version 1.0 I released in a 5 1/4 inch floppy, right? So that's I still remember that.
Absolutely, I remember those days as well. Wasn't that was 16-bit, right? Windows 3.0 was 16-bit, right? Oh man!
Oh yeah, well,
phenomenal.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
16-bit and. Talking about technology change, we have gone through so many technical changes. Yeah. Initially, when I started, I didn't even have a network because I was in my living room or my extra bedroom, just one computer, and yet I was trying to sell to people who are using network, and I didn't have network myself.
Yeah.
To test it out, and so basically. I had to use the customer to tell me what's wrong with it, and then I fixed it. So
there you go.
And it's and IBM had a lab to test it out. They had their PS2 or what is their LAN environment. But anyway, so basically after that, we became a client server. By the way, this was we call CRM today is sales automation, or many people call CRM today sales automation.
Right.
But what I studied is not sales automation. I studied customer management or customer service management. So, and until a couple of years, 3 years later, so when I saw ACT, and so, and that time I included it was a natural extension because from the very beginning, from day one, I told myself that I would make the platform very flexible. And it was even the first version 1.0, I designed and architected in such a way that it's completely flexible, so you can add extensions to the database and you can customize the database. Even though it was in DBase 4, you would be really surprised what I did with it. You could add multiple DBase 4 tables and extend with using graphical interface, just GUI, to extend multiple tables and keep on adding multiple tables with the many-to-many relations using DBase 4. That was a challenge, but that was done.
now I have to tell you, Manu, I'm on your LinkedIn page. Is that a current picture of you, Manu, on LinkedIn?
That was 2004 picture, by the way.
You are you age beautifully, Manu. I have to tell you, you look like you're in this picture. You look like you're about 19, 20, maybe even 21 years old in this picture. It's just you are truly now I'm kind of going down memory lane. So Swami and Bruce, you're going to have to hang in with me here. This building software in 1992 was a very different game than the game we play today. And Manu, what he's talking about, it took innovation and creativity beyond comparison. And Manu, I'm just honored to meet you. And I want to get to another subject in just a moment, but I wanted to take the time to celebrate this because you had $6,000 and you had your living room, you had no network, very limited access. You got your inspiration from Lotus Notes, which I almost guarantee you. Bruce, do you know what Lotus Notes is? Do you remember Lotus Notes?
I remember Notes.
You remember it? Okay.
I remember it.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say neither one of these guys would probably even remember Lotus Notes. Lotus Notes was a nightmare for me, Manu. So you took that and you made that happen, and that inspired you to move on. You are truly an entrepreneur story. We're going to take a quick break to have our tech news right now. We're going to get back to Manu. And Manu, I'm going to just give you a heads up. I'm going to talk about why your company, why your CRM system, and what are the advantages for businesses to use your product right after we take this break for tech news. So quick question here. I'm doing comparison shopping. You are a little more inexpensive than Salesforce. We are going to take a quick commercial break, Manu. When we get back, I want to ask you a difficult question, but it's probably simple for you, is why Soffront and not Salesforce? You got them beat on price, and I see the value you're adding, but I'd like you to talk to our customers out there because people are looking for a product like this to solve their problems. And I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure that it's in line with your answer. So when we get back from this quick break, we're going to ask Manu, an amazing entrepreneur who's had a CRM system in development and migration for the past 20 years. He's stayed in business and is profitable and really pioneered this whole area. We're going to be asking Manu why his product and not the other CRM products that are out there. You can dial in at 408-912-5565 and talk directly to Manu Das after this quick commercial break. Turbocharging your mornings with technotainment, and we have Manu Das online, and I have to tell you, I'm looking at a list of CRM systems right now on the web. Right in the middle is your company, Soffront. But we have everything from Salesforce to Oracle to SAP to all the way down to a late bloomer, Zoho, which we talk about a lot, Zoho, on this show. Sugar CRM. My goodness, Manu, this is a crowded space. It wasn't crowded when you pioneered it. So why Soffront and not the numerous CRM systems out there. Can you tell us a little bit why your product is the one to use as a business?
Yeah. So if you, I'm sure you know, and how CRM is used by salespeople, and if you think about the salespeople like to use CRM if it gives them an ROI or return on their investment, meaning what is the salesperson's investment? The investment is really his time.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
putting in time to enter data, to enter information.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely, he will do it only if it benefits him, right?
Right.
So he's not going to just sit there and enter information if it doesn't benefit him, because that's time taken away from his sales, where he could be making some calls. So the reason he would do that only if the system helps him more than what he put in.
Yes.
So if I put in 10 minutes of my time, but if I get back 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I just doubled my ROI, right?
Right.
So that's really the key. And if a study would show that a lot of companies, they subscribe to CRM or buy CRM or build CRM, but salespeople really don't use it. It's an adaptation problem, adoption problem. Right. And the reason they don't use it because it's not easy to use for them, and it doesn't save them time. The ROI isn't there. So for salespeople or anybody for that matter to use a system, if they will use it only if it benefits them.
Right.
Whereas a lot of these corporate buyers, they make decisions buying CRM, which is without consulting the salespeople many times.
Right.
And so they keep paying month after month, year after year, but it's not being used. So this is where really the problem lies in adoption of CRM in the salespeople, with the salespeople. So what we, that I realized that many years ago that the salespeople, they buy it and they doesn't use it. I talk to customers every day. Well, we have CRM for last 3 years. How many people use it? Oh, we got 25 people. Actually, 3 people use it quite good, and other 5 people once in a while. The rest don't use it. That's the story. That's exactly the story.
Yeah.
And the IT department is paying because, and the company is paying, think that they're getting great. So if the salespeople don't use it, the management doesn't get any data.
Right.
Because they don't get any analytics. So in order to benefit the company and the management, you need to have the data which the salespeople have to put in, which they're not putting in.
Right.
So this is the fundamental issue with CRM. It was been there since people started, or even before I started. When I started, even basically, we know why it has been taking so long for CRM to be, loved by salespeople, especially, and other people. The reason I say salespeople mostly because the salespeople are, as we know, they are independent. They think for themselves. They don't do things just because the boss told them to do it. Some do, some don't. But so this is very important for the salespeople to adopt CRM.
Absolutely.
So we create our tool. If people sees it, it's like basically 2 screens. Actually, 3 screens. That's it.
Yeah,
so you do everything in 3 screens. It's so easy, and you don't have to flip 20 different pages and navigate and flip through pages to enter you have to enter these, enter that. It's just nightmare for salespeople. So you basically have 3 pages. That's all they really need to know, and it's really easy, all in there. And we created this architecture where, like when you go to browser, you open some new tab as you browse new websites. So in our case also, if you are working with a company and then another call came along, you can open another tab and another tab. So you can have you're working with 3 companies at the same time in 3 different tabs.
Yeah.
So without losing. So we created this architecture which is really easy for salespeople to understand. Oh, I'm working with 3 companies and I can close any of the tab. I can go back to the previous tab and it is intact. It doesn't go away. So it really comes down to that.
Yeah,
ease of use.
Let me interrupt you. In just the time you did that explanation, I've signed up for Soffront for the 14-day trial. I might add, he doesn't ask for a credit card to do a trial. I entered in, I skipped the tutorials and the videos, and it's the best test of the product. This is very neat and clean and very easy. And as you're saying, it's opening up new tabs so I can keep track of my tasks. I went to marketing templates and started looking at it. And I thought, I'm going to have to create a marketing template from scratch. I clicked on the plus sign, and very easily it opened up a tab with a whole bunch of templates. This is beautifully and very well put together. I have to commend you for that. And I want to make sure our listeners have this web address. Go out and give it a trial. It's www.soffront, and it's spelled SOFFRONT.com. Manu Das, the CEO and president. This is a CRM system that's been around for 20 years. I like that because I think you probably have seen just about everything that's possible. I'm looking at the sales templates right now. I added that sales template, and it is very, very easy. Everything's simple. I just enter the name. I enter the subject. I can personalize it. I see you've got a WYSIWYG here. Very easy to do. So you've thought of everything, Manu. In 20 years, you've learned a lot of lessons, haven't you, in this area?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is no lack of lessons over 22 years. It's just enormous amount of lessons we learned from customers and from everybody else from the industry itself. So definitely. And that is another advantage that we have put together, as you just pointed out, that we put marketing and the sales together into one, and the customer service all in one solution, which is also a great advantage, because how often you hear companies are using MailChimp or Constant Contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they're using Salesforce or something else. And so how often they're struggling with the data back and forth. Somebody's email changed. You got to update here, update there. So this has been a traditional problem. And so we put together, as you saw, we have marketing templates and the sales, the marketing and the sales, the service, they're all in one place, one data, one view. There is one copy of the data. So you go to the history shows whether it's a marketing history or sales history or service history, they're all in one place. That's what people want.
This is fantastic. In fact, I found the key differentiator so far that sets you apart from Salesforce, because I have done and set up workflow in Salesforce. Your workflow is so simple. I'm sitting here and creating workflow right now. I notice a video icon up here. We're on the radio, so I don't want to click on it, but I almost can guarantee that I can click on that video and get some tutorials. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. And I'm really amazed that you were able to get to the workflow without knowing anything, and you are doing workflow. And it's a beauty. That's the beauty. You can create the workflow, just drag and drop. You can create different pages. You can create different tasks, and it doesn't take a nuclear scientist to figure it out how to do what.
Absolutely. This is fantastic. Hey, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break here and well, Manu, it's been great having you on the show. I want to introduce you again. If people are just dialing in, Manu Das is CEO and president of Soffront, a CRM company that's been around for over 20 years. And Soffront, I have to tell you, is awesome. Let me give you the website. It is SOFFRONT.com. You want to go out, you can get a free trial, 14 days. I've already set up my account. I'm playing with it. And I have to tell you, I am very excited because it's easy to use. I purposely blew by all the tutorials and all that, and I'm off to the races, setting up templates. And actually, I just configured my first workflow Manu. You got to be proud of me. Of course, I'm not new to technology, so I understand the terms. But it sounds like and looks like that you have video tutorials all the way through to help people and assist them to setting up their business. Is that true, Manu?
That is true. Yeah, we have multiple videos. If you click the help button on the top right corner, that will take you to a knowledge base of various questions, and it also takes you to a lot of videos. The user guide, the complete user guide. So it's got everything that you need to know. If you click the help button, that will take you the library of entire user guide, the videos, and the knowledge base. So that is your area where you can go and find information. But we do also have customer service people that can help you if you need it, and we have very inexpensive, especially for small businesses. We have very inexpensive implementation plan, which is really one is $99 and $299 and $499, and it's
wow.
It helps you do. Yeah, it's really incredibly.
That's incredibly inexpensive.
If you go to the pricing page, you will see there are 3 packages to implement. That includes training, data import, and customization of workflow, template creation, newsletter templates, touch campaign, otherwise known as drip campaign. So all of that, you can get it done for $499. It gives you, we give you so much value in $499. It's not just the importing the data, but setting up your entire database, customizing the database. And I probably didn't mention before, but the system we have is extremely customizable, and and you can do it yourself. But in $499, it's really a value.
Right, phenomenal details on this website. Everything's easy to find. It's very big. I'm big into big icons. It's easy to navigate. I've been on your knowledge database. You have training videos. But I have to tell you, we were with a managed services company at Dreamforce, and their bottom package to set up and configure and do Salesforce automation was $4,995, and that didn't include much to do that. And you're saying you'll help customers, small and medium-sized businesses, set up their account and get everything rolling and smoothed over for incredibly inexpensive prices. $499. Any small business can afford that. So, wow. You have made that tremendously affordable, because we know the headache of trying to set up a CRM is you need some expertise, you need some support, and you've thought about that, Manu. That's phenomenal. So I notice on your contacting support primarily through email. You have some fields to mark, open up a help desk ticket. You can contact support, and you have a wonderful knowledge database. So there's just no reason why a small, medium-sized company wouldn't want to reach out to you at Soffront. Let me give that web address again, soffront.com. Manu is excited to be on the show because it's taken us 20 years to get the show going, and here we are in our first year bringing out a guy who really understands computing and the history of computing. So...
Okay.
Manu, it's been great having you on the show. I love introducing products that are new products, but I love introducing a product like yours that's been around for 20 years. And you pioneered something very special. And as I told the listeners, I was able to sign up in just a few minutes while Manu was answering a question. I'm able to navigate this very easily. You want to go out to soffront.com. That's spelled S-O-F as in Fred, F as in Fred, RONT.com. You want to go out there and try it out. Kick the tires. I think you're going to love what you see out on that website. And Manu has created a company with really affordable consulting services to help you get set up on your company. Thank you, Manu, for being our guest this morning, and you have an outstanding day.